Hey, what's up? Got the St. John's Bridge here, guys. Going over the Willamette River. Just going on a little walk here in Cathedral Park in St. John's, Portland. I'm really enjoying my time out here, guys, man. Definitely my kind of vibe out here, and it's cool because I got here about a week ago, and if you guys can notice, the mountains out there, how I'm zooming in, like how you can actually see them. Well, when I came here about six days ago, you couldn't even see them from this distance because the smog was so thick from the Canadian wildfires, but thankfully it's cleared up. I digress. I made a video, or I'm making a video rather, pardon me, about why I think it'll be good if Conor McGregor beats Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to talk about three main reasons here why I think it'll be good. But first I just want to say that I do respect boxing as a sport. I respect it as a martial art. I respect it as a fitness method even. I do think that boxing is fun to watch, you know, like obviously if the fighters are good. And I do think that it is practical, but not as practical as MMA. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm not making this video to say that Floyd Mayweather's a bad person, or to say that boxing, you know, shouldn't exist anymore. So I just want to be clear that I'm not making this video to disrespect anybody. I'm simply stating facts and my personal opinion. Alrighty, MMA is the future, and I don't think there's any doubt about it. MMA is becoming more and more popular by the day, not only to train but to watch as well. That's just true. And boxing, it seems like it's just not as popular anymore. It's just kind of losing its steam. I mean, you know, how many really famous boxers are like around right now, as opposed to famous UFC fighters or famous MMA fighters? I think there's probably the general public could name more UFC fighters, for example, than they could name professional boxers. You know, that's just something that I believe to be true, unless you're a boxing aficionado, of course. I mean, another thing about MMA is that it attracts more intelligent people, and it makes more intelligent people, simply because you have to implement so many different types of defensive and offensive techniques from so many different martial arts as one unit. So if you don't know much about what mixed martial arts is, it's mixed martial arts. So you would take something like judo, wrestling, boxing, you know, karate, taekwondo, Greco-Roman wrestling, and you would mix them together into one fighting form. But obviously you need to be pretty fucking smart to know how to box and wrestle and throw a karate style kick, you know, at the same time, or use those martial arts defensively against another fighter. So I'm just saying, there's definitely a higher learning curve to learning MMA, or just learning more than one martial art at once. You know, the thing about boxing is, I'm not saying that boxers are all stupid. That's not my point here. But what I'm saying is that because it's a singular martial art, I just feel like it would take less. It's just it's a lower learning curve. And the same would be maybe with wrestling, or you know, like just doing wrestling, or just doing, you know, karate, because your focus is on one skill set. Whereas mixed martial arts, you need to learn how to take a few different skill sets and mix them together as one unit. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? So and you know, MMA generally, again, not always, but generally speaking, attracts more educated, well-paid people. And the reason is because if you're going to be trained in mixed martial arts, oftentimes what fighters do, unless it's like unless it's like an MMA gym specifically, you might have to go to 2, 3, maybe even 4 different gyms to train all your different martial arts and do your strength and conditioning. That shit costs money, man. I mean, one gym out of 3 might cost, you know, over $100 a month, maybe even 200, just depending on the area and of course the frequency in which you train and all that shit. And you know, MMA is also it's also safer for your brain. And here's why: because boxing, when it first, you know, came about as a martial art and as a spectator sport, gloves weren't really used. Then you know, like, it wasn't uncommon for a boxing match to go 50, 60, 70 rounds, because either the boxers would primarily throw body shots because they didn't want to break their hands, or because their hands were already broken. See, because if you punch a guy in the face a bunch of times, especially if you don't have really good technique, You know, I mean, you might break your hand, so guys like didn't punch as hard, or their hands were just broken and they couldn't hit as hard. So the Marquess of Queensberry rules, they implemented boxing gloves, basically so the fighters could hit harder to the head without having to worry about breaking their own hands. Therefore, more people started getting knocked out, therefore more spectators, therefore more money for the sport. Makes sense? MMA, you can't tee off on a guy with punching quite as much as you can with boxing, simply because you don't have as much protection. You don't have the thick padded glove and the tape and the gauze and all that shit like you do in a boxing glove. You know, so that's just something to consider too. And you don't have a standing 8 count in MMA like you do in boxing. With boxing, you can get knocked out, get up in, you know, 8 seconds and show that you're okay. And then you might get knocked down again, and then another, you know, standing 8 count, and then, oh, I get knocked out again. Whereas in MMA, if you get knocked down, your opponent can just jump on top of you and finish the fight right there. You don't need to take, you know, get up and then take another serious blow to the head, resulting in, you know, concussion. So it's no secret anymore that sports like American football and boxing, you know, is a high correlation with like CTE, with serious fucking brain damage, and that's just a fact. MMA, you definitely have concussions too, but when you have things like grappling, when you can kick someone in the leg, when you can kick someone in the body, when you can finish the fight quickly with strikes on the ground, then it's just you're less likely to get serious, long-lasting brain damage. Although MMA is still a dangerous sport. Don't misunderstand me. It's still dangerous. And I also think it's better for self-defense. That's just one big reason there why I think it's good if Conor McGregor wins, simply because it makes MMA good, and it further reinforces the fact that MMA is the future and boxing is good to learn, but it should be learned with at least a grappling art as well, to have a more well-rounded fighting style, in my opinion. Number two, that was a big number one there, right? Number 2, Floyd Mayweather beat up his wife in front of his own children, in front of his own child at least. I don't know why Conor McGregor didn't bring this up during the press tour when they did Los Angeles, Brooklyn, London, what was it, in Toronto and all that. I don't know why he didn't say that to him. He said he couldn't read, but so just right there, like, that's just a strike against him. I mean, especially in such a machismo sport like boxing, with all the type of manly, macho douchebags that sport can attract, the fact that Floyd Mayweather is a girl hitter, you know, like that is seriously frowned upon. That is seriously frowned upon, just amongst society in general, but especially amongst more machismo cultures like boxing and martial arts, because if you hit a woman, it's seen as like, it's like you're you're weak, like you're yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just simply saying that I'm just surprised that in the boxing world, he was able to beat up his wife who knows how many times and just like not be ridiculed for that, or not. I guess because he has a shit ton of money too. So I don't think that he's a good role model for kids. And you know, because he can't read, I mean, that is a real thing. I mean, he can't read. And you know, I know Conor McGregor is very flashy too, and he's very, you know, he kind of has a cocky persona sometimes too, but Floyd Mayweather has that douchey, cocky persona, not when he was pretty boy Floyd, but now that he's Money Mayweather. He's got that bright, shiny object, materialistic type persona, but he's dumb. He can't read, and he's not interesting to listen to talk. He's not funny, he's not clever, he's not interesting to listen to in an interview. He's a terrible shit talker. Conor McGregor, it might be a cocky douchebag, but I believe that he does it maybe because he really is a cocky douchebag, but he's actually an intelligent cocky douchebag. He's very funny, he's actually captivating to listen to speak sometimes in an interview. I mean, he just is, and that's one of the things that's so enthralling about somebody like McGregor, is just because he's like the full package. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's an incredible fighter. You know, he's got the looks. He's handsome. He's got the body. He can beat ass. He's super smart, intelligent. Like he's what every guy kind of wants to be. You know, and I think that at the end of the day, he's a good-hearted dude. And I don't think he would ever beat up his wife in front of his son. So I'm just pointing that out, man. I don't really like Floyd Mayweather after hearing that, I guess. And I really don't like him after, I'm talking about reason number 3 now. I really don't like him after I heard this bullshit about race baiting, about how he took Conor McGregor saying monkeys and then manipulated and twisted his words into making him sound racist. And that's something that McGregor even said. He was like, how, like if I was going to compare Floyd Mayweather to any animal, it would not be the monkey, it would be the rat or the weasel, because only a rat or a weasel would take someone's words like that and manipulate them into like something bad, into something racist now. So you're trying to create something that isn't even there in the first place. And look, I get why Floyd Mayweather did it. I don't think Floyd Mayweather is really that dumb. I think he's dumb. I don't think he's that dumb. I think he knows that Conor McGregor did not mean monkey in a racial way. He meant it just in like a general term, like, oh, you're just like a silly monkey, like you're a fucking, like you're a clown or whatever, something along those lines. I think he did it to help pump the fight up more, to sell the fight, because Floyd Mayweather said, this one's for the blacks. And what does that do? It's just going to rev up certain black people, certain ones. Now, there's plenty of very intelligent black people that understand that this is just race baiting and understand it's just to sell the fight, but there's some that are going to fall for it. And you know what? Whatever, man. So anyways, those are 3 reasons I think that it'll be good if Conor McGregor wins, because Floyd's a race baiter. He's manipulating people's words, and I think that's just a low blow. That's kind of a bitch move, especially for somebody like as rich as he is, and with all the racial tension that's going on already in this country, like, why would you go and make something that's not there? That's just silly to me, but also very typical as well. So anyways, guys, the fact that he's a race baiter, he beat his wife in front of his kid, and I just think it's good for the sport of MMA. I think that it's the future, and I think that boxing is going to slowly decline, and people are going to realize that it should just be like a supplement martial art to train, not so much a primary martial art. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? So shout out to Portland, shout out to all the combat sports fans out there. If you guys want to, hit me up with some more video ideas, nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches. Instagram, please follow me, guys, at Brayton Howard. Like and share my Facebook page, guys, facebook.com/nojokehoward. All of my social media contact links and everything else will be in the description box below. All right, y'all, peace.